Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. This is 100% about another upgrade that I made to the camper. You can probably guess by the title of this video, but I installed the AirLift Total View camera system. Now, one of the biggest questions that I get, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, is actually how I back up the camper. Now, I have my side mirrors, but obviously I lose the rear view mirror because the camper obstructs it. And then with my tailgate down, my backup camera is actually facing the ground. So a lot of people are very interested to see how I back it up. Now, most of the time it's completely fine. If I'm in a big field or a parking lot like this, it's not a big deal. I know what's behind me, but when it's kind of tight, whether there's trees near me or maybe I'm backing up towards a cliff, it can be kind of precarious. And having a good backup camera is not only a convenience, but it's also a safety feature. When I first got the camper, I looked into a ton of options, and honestly, they were either way too expensive, like the Ford one where it plugs into the 7-pin, where I think it was almost $1,000, or there's way too much wiring. They wanted me to wire into the truck itself. I needed to add an actual monitor inside the truck, and I really did not want to do that. So when AirLift came out with this, I knew it was going to be a really great solution for me. Now, for full transparency, I did get this system for free from AirLift. They sent it to me and kind of wanted my opinions. AirLift's been amazing. I can say whatever I want. I don't have a script or anything like that. I can give you guys my full opinion. First, let's go over what's inside the box. Right off the top, you have the camera, mounting bracket, and the battery mount. Now, I'm only using the hardwired mount because I want it to be a permanent camera on my camper, but if you're someone that might have several trailers or just don't want to wire it into your camper, it also comes with a suction cup mount. Then on the bottom, you have all the wiring, antennas, and then the camera interface device. For installing the actual hardwired bracket, all you really need is a single hole in the camper. I lined mine up where I wanted, drilled my hole, and then fastened the bracket down. Later, I filled the hole with some nice indoor and outdoor silicone, so I don't really need to worry about any water or bugs making their way inside. Now, for those who might not be terribly handy, I would never suggest using a drill to tighten these down. I get the screws close to tight with the drill, and then I finish it off with a ratchet to make sure it's nice and snug. For those of you who have a Scout, this is how I installed it. You just need to take off these back panels that will expose your wiring and where your holes were drilled. Now, luckily for me, there is already a 12-volt plug in the rear of my camper. The directions tell you to splice it into existing 12-volt wiring, but I decided to just add a quick and cheap 12-volt plug so that I can unplug it if I really need to. I can always go back and hardwire it if I ended up needing that 12-volt plug for something. I just used some heat shrink crimp connectors for the wiring and then added a heat shrink over the top just to finish it off. It would have been better if I had black heat shrink, but I already had white and I didn't want to go back to Home Depot. For the camera interface, you can really add it anywhere that you want. It takes another 12-volt plug, so I could have kept it inside the camper, but my fridge takes up that spot. I had this extra Goal Zero Yeti that I decided to add to the truck so that I can charge my camera and drone batteries, along with powering laptops while on road trips. I figured this was a great option to add the camera interface. It allows me to also be able to access the camera footage even when the truck is off. For those of you who are worried about power, don't stress too much. Both the camera and interface are both extremely low draw. The camera itself only pulls 4 watts and the camera interface only pulls a single watt of power. So if you're on battery power, you don't have to worry about either of those really draining your batteries. Now that the system is installed, I needed to find a solution to actually hold my phone so I could use it as a backup camera. I went with 67 Designs because after all of my research, I came to the conclusion that they were the best. A dash mount might not seem like something that really matters, but I always believe that if it's something worth doing, it's worth overdoing. The fit and finish are amazing, and the attention to detail is fantastic. I didn't want something bulky or ugly that ended up taking up a bunch of space. What really drew me to 67 Designs was not just the impeccable manufacturing or their stellar reputation, but their commitment to quality. They design, R&D, and build everything in the United States and support other American manufacturers by using them as vendors. Plus, their low profile design helps me retain that factory look while adding a ton of functionality. Installation was a breeze. All I needed to do was first remove the center speaker and then pop up the plastic trim, drill 6 holes for the dash mount, and then fasten it all down. I really judge a company based on what kind of hardware they supply. To be honest, a lot of things that I have installed in my truck came with some pretty bad hardware, and I end up replacing it with higher quality down the road. 67 Designs came with the perfect nuts and bolts. Not only did it come with lock washers, but it came with nylon lock nuts to make sure they will never loosen up. Reinstalling was just as fast, just 2 screws and popping everything back into place. I went with the magnetic mount so that I can easily swap between vertical and horizontal positioning on the phone, and I also added a second mount for my Garmin InReach. Before, there wasn't really a great spot for it, and it ended up just living inside a bag in the back of my truck. But now it's readily accessible for any emergency that we might have. The magnetic mount is crazy strong, and I have no worries about it coming loose on a bumpy road. Obviously, I'm not running the Baja 1000 with it, but I often take my truck and camper in locations that are worse than your standard Forest Service road. Finally, let's talk about how it works. Overall, I'm super stoked with the quality and ease of use. It's just an app that you use on your phone and it's essentially ready to go whenever you need it. Just open the app and back up your truck. It has a generous 110 degrees field of view. It has over 100 foot of range, which is overkill for me. It also works day or night. The app works in vertical or horizontal positioning, and it even has these little backup guides in case you need them. The picture quality is surprisingly good considering it's streaming from the back of my camper. I mean, I'm not gonna go film any vlogs with it anytime soon, but I would say it's equal in quality compared to the stock backup camera on my tailgate. It's repositionable, so I can have it angled more towards the ground so I can see the back of my camper and tailgate, or I can angle it back up to show a little bit more of what's further behind me. It's not fixed in the one position and it's easy to readjust. Now, the only caveat is that if you have wireless Apple CarPlay, this will not work as seamless. The Total View system connects via Wi-Fi, and so does Apple CarPlay. For me, I have wired Apple CarPlay, so it's perfect. My phone auto connects to the Wi-Fi when the truck is started, and it's always available. I can still make calls, stream music or podcasts, receive texts, or anything else that you use your phone for. But with wireless Apple CarPlay, you will need to disconnect from CarPlay and then connect to the Total View and switch back and forth. It's definitely an inconvenience, but not the worst thing in the world, especially if you have a big fifth wheel and having a backup camera is crucial for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're interested in learning more about the Total View system from AirLift, please go to the link in the description. I have it to go to their website. You can learn more. If you have any questions at all about the system or my comments, please just drop a comment and let me know. I'm more than willing to share any opinions that I have. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.